eventually you get absorbed in and you are Sonic.
Dearly beloved, we're gathered here on this day to record a podcast called No Repeat. Every week, we pick 3 songs with no repeats and no do-overs to create the perfect playlist for the most special occasions in your life. I'm Taylor Olmstead, and I'm joined by my co-host, Tyler Reed.
Sometimes when I'm preparing for the show, I like to turn on all the YouTube videos at the same time and just see how they all kind of vibe together.
And Sean Evans.
How does that often work? Like, what is your success percentage?
Oh, that's 0.
Tyler, what was our challenge this week?
This week, our challenge to find the perfect song for a first dance at a wedding. Submitted by... You submit this one? Did we just decide to do this one?
I think we just decided to do this one.
Submitted by us because homeboy getting married. Taylor!
It's me. I am that homeboy. New merch. I am that homeboy t-shirts. Tyler, are you going to tell them where they can submit a challenge?
Yeah, hey, if you want to submit a challenge, you can DM us at us. Wait for us to post something about it on Instagram or Twitter, No Repeat Pod on any of those. Or we have a Facebook group, No Repeat Pod listening group, or an email, norepeatpod@gmail.com. Thanks so much.
So yeah, this is our last formal episode before a little bit of a hiatus because I'm getting married. And we wanted to celebrate the occasion by talking about first dance songs. You know, there's a lot of approaches to the first dance. I feel like it's become less and less traditional over the last few years. But it seems like people are kind of putting their own twist on it. Like, it doesn't seem to be going away. It's just kind of changing. The only other person on here that is married is Sean. But Sean, you didn't really have a reception for your wedding. No. So did you do a first dance?
No.
Wow.
Do you remember what the first song you danced to after you got married was?
No.
Have you ever experienced the joy of dance?
Yes.
Okay. Can you recall any song? Any song you've ever danced to ever?
Sean is in Magic 8-Ball mode this evening.
Like, what have we danced to?
Yeah. Any song.
We probably danced at a wedding or two.
Yeah.
I don't remember though. Maybe when I got my job, I was really drunk, and I think we danced like to Kylie Minogue, Love at First Sight or something.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's really cute. I love that.
I think we came back from dinner and I was drunk and started to dance. And that was on. I was like, I love this song, because that's what I sound like when I'm drunk.
Tyler, you're in a somewhat new relationship, less than a year.
Yeah.
Have you two danced together yet?
We have swung danced.
You went swing dancing.
Yeah, we went swing dancing.
Okay.
You remember the jazz song that you
is swung we swung danced? Not the way to say we went swing dancing.
I don't know. I actually don't know what the past tense of that is.
We swing swung.
SWAT. They SWAT dance.
Yeah. So there was like a jazz band that was playing, and I don't recall exactly any particular songs that they played. And then we also went salsa dancing one time. And that, again, was sort of like just sort of vibes only. So, that being said, I'm very excited to wedding dance very soon.
Yeah, we have danced a good bit, both at other people's weddings, and we actually danced a little bit on our first date, which is cheesy and cute. We, slow danced in the street. It was sweet. But we knew we wanted to do a first dance because it's somewhat uncomfortable sometimes for us to slow dance at weddings, just because if we're the only same-sex couple in attendance, we don't want to make a big scene, which is unfortunate that it has to be that way, but like we've been to 2 weddings in rural areas in the last 2 years, and you just never know what drunk family member is going to say something and make the day not about the couple getting married. So we try to stay out of that spotlight, but for our wedding, we absolutely wanted to do it. And I took the advice of one of my groomsmen and actually took dance lessons to prepare for the wedding dance.
Let's go.
Sweet.
Let me tell you guys, if you ever need to dance in public at something, just spend a couple $100 and do like 2 sessions of dance lessons at your local dance like school or academy or whatever. It's incredible what just like a little bit of basics can do for you. Like, we tried dancing to the song that I picked tonight just in our living room to see if it was the one we wanted to use for the first dance. Mm-hmm. We were like stepping all over each other and we were like, oh God, what are we going to do? After 2 sessions with our dance coach, Mary, we were like, oh, okay, we know what to do. Like, we're not doing anything fancy, but we know what to do. Now we have done 4 sessions and, you know, we've added some moves in and started to like make it into something. But even just the first 2, just learning like, this is where your hands go. This is the direction you need to turn. These are like the order of the steps. It was like, oh, okay, I see what I'm doing here. Like, this makes sense. But it also made me very aware and very thankful that we picked the song that we did. Because let me tell you, if you are not skilled in dancing, you do not want to get up in front of a room full of your closest family and friends and dance to a song that is too complicated or too fast. And we picked a slow song on purpose because we knew that if we did anything too fast, it was not going to be good. And so that was like number 1 criteria. It was like tempo needed to be very low mid-tempo. Like, not ballad. You know, we're not trying to do the Arms to the Angels here, but slow-ish, we'll say. So that was criteria number 1. And then criteria number 2, because we're a same-sex couple, we wanted a song that didn't have gendered pronouns in it. And so when you take somewhat slow, no gender pronouns, the number of songs available to you whittles down dramatically very quickly. Mm-hmm. And so it became very hard to find a song. We had a little list of like 5, and we tried dancing to all of them in the living room, and this was the one that felt the most natural, and so it's the one that we're using at the wedding. But what about you guys? Since this is more hypothetical for you this week, how did you pick your songs?
I went on my Spotify playlist of liked songs. I typed in Love. I found a song that I knew that you guys didn't know, and I said, this is the one, after I read the lyrics, and said, this is not cringy and would be appropriate for a dance at a wedding.
That's huge, too. Say that. Can't be too sexy.
Can't be too sexy. Why not?
I don't know about your family, Tyler, but it would be discussed for the rest of my life if we did our first dance to say, let's get it on. Or even kiss from a rose.
I'm pretty sure that when you're at a wedding, everybody knows what's about to happen. Like, it goes from like a closed secret to an open secret, or a denied secret to an implied secret. Tyler knows. Tyler just did the hand thing.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I feel like if we're reading between the lines here, Taylor's expressing that we probably got this. It's like we have to deal with the family prejudices, and that no matter what song is, if it has any sexual connotation at all, I'm sure they're like, you're making me think about.
No, I don't think that's it. I think it's more like, this is from some sitcom or something. I'm sure it's from like Friends or How I Met Your Mother. I don't remember. But they talk about like the kiss at the wedding and how you have to give the appropriate amount of tongue. Enough that it looks like a real kiss, but not so much that it looks like it's too much. And they call it church tongue.
Absolutely not. Ugh. You don't have to do that.
Ugh.
There are so many opinions about weddings, guys.
Yeah, as it turns out, probably a lot. There's an entire industry based on it. But no, I mean, you're probably right. It probably shouldn't be that sexy. Should be, I mean, unless you got some real, I don't know. It depends on the family. But most Midwestern folks are probably not going to want anything too crazy. Anyway, so I sort of like had to go into my mind palace, and I just sort of imagined what a 30-something, someone roughly our age that's like getting married for the first time, that sort of like still has a sort of whimsy and like wide-eyed sort of like ideals of like marriage as an institution, like, oh, this is gonna be great, this is, and so
there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, well, so I don't know, I feel like I wanted something that I feel like what felt important to me was some level of like history to it, like a song that I feel like is not necessarily of the moment. So I feel like it has some familiarity, so most people could probably dance to it or appreciate it or understand it, because I feel like there's a certain sense of like, you want to choose sort of like an icon or some sort of like identifiable song that you feel like if you say it out loud to someone, they'll be able to understand the gist of it, and that it's like not that hard to find on like whatever dude's like CD collection you're looking through for them to play, sort of picking from the catalog, the Great American Song List, right?
Yeah,
the canon of contemporary songs. I feel like one like element of sort of like songs involving weddings or relationships or sort of like that, where I feel like there is sort of like a sense of like sometimes people choose a song that has a good vibe but doesn't lyrically is not correct. Like, I feel like a great example is Green Day's Time of Your Life, right? Or
yes, just because it sounds pretty doesn't mean it's a love song.
Yeah. I don't recall, but like one of my parents' songs is Mrs. Jones, and that's not a song about what you think it is. But it's a very sweet, sort of like very sort of weird, actually a little sexual song. There's a little bit of oomph to that song. But so I was kind of like, can I find a song that's kind of like maybe like sounds like it's kind of like about love, but maybe it's like not. And I feel like that was too much work. So I just sort of, I don't know, I feel like I just wanted a song that had the appropriate level of sweetness, that sort of like maybe had some like whimsy to it. I don't know. I feel like, that's enough.
Can you, you're a creative individual.
Yeah.
This will not be lost on people who are involved in the show. But in the beginning, you alluded to going to a place in your mind.
Uh-huh.
Can you describe briefly, can you paint a word picture of that for us when you go there to find a song? What was that like?
Sort of like,
flower cannons, drawbridges,
yeah, no.
Seaside.
No. The Mind Palace of like what mind looks like.
The Mind Palace. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think.
Describe your journey into your Mind Palace.
I don't think I've fully I don't think I've crafted what my Mind Palace looks like, which feels like a shame and a real disappointment to the audience.
Yeah, it is a little.
We'll have to check back in to what that looks like. But I don't know, Sean. What does your Mind Palace look like?
That I don't know. I never. Well, I'm just fascinated by the term. I'm just fascinated by the term Mind Palace. It sounds like an indie band that I would very much be into listening to secretly.
It's a Sherlock thing.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, the BBC Sherlock show. Yeah.
It's not gonna lie, the visual is a little cringe.
Yeah, it's where he goes in his mind to solve mysteries. But
okay.
So before we get into song picks, I want to clarify a couple of quick things. For your dances, are you just doing a traditional couple, somewhat slow dance, vaguely ballroom-esque? Or are you, bringing in choreography? Is this, Indian wedding, group dance number? What are you... How are you dancing to these songs? Because I think that's important to how you try to pick a song.
I didn't realize choreography was an option. I didn't realize group.
Listen,
You clearly have
goes-
not been on gay wedding Instagram.
he goes to a dance class twice, and now he's Martha Graham. Okay.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm
He,
saying
he name dropped his dance teacher like right out of the gate. He
no.
was like,
Don't
When was
come
your
at- don't
first
come
time? And everybody's
Don't
gonna
come at me like this. Don't come at me like this. What I'm saying is, when I tell people we're doing a first dance, they assume that because we're two men, we're, oh my god, we're doing a dance, and we like have a whole choreographed number, and it's like something out of like Queer as Folk or whatever. Like,
Oh.
that's not what's happening here.
Sorry, I had meant to refer to like the group dancing. That seems like a lot, but
If you get on wedding Instagram at all, you will see these where it's like the couple is dancing, and then all of a sudden all the wedding party comes in and everybody knows the choreography, and what a surprise.
What movie do you live in?
That's what I mean. Who are your friends that they go along with this fantasy? I want to get up there, I want to sway a little bit in a way that doesn't look like I'm about to step on my partner or fall over. And then 90 seconds later, it's done.
or
But
if
I-
you do
but I
fall,
wanted
it's cute or sexy.
But I wanted to give you guys the option that if you wanted to do some big dramatic thing, if you wanted to do a flash mob or whatever, now would be your time to state that intention.
So
All right.
romantic, it hurts.
Well, here, let me pick a new song then. All right, we're gonna do the Elven Court. We're going to do the ritual blood sacrifice. Okay, all right. No, but I just figure it would be sort of like Meg, Pixie Dream Girl, rom-com, sort of like dancing like nobody's watching, kind of real dumb. But but if I had to imagine, I feel like if I was actually getting married, I like Taylor, I probably would get some kind of dancing lessons so I don't look like a fool.
Sean, we don't all have professional dancers in our family like you. We have to learn
Yeah.
these things somewhere.
Well, if you think that that's a gift that is passed down to you in some kind of bizarre pundit square, you would be absolutely incorrect.
Are you saying that you're not good on the dance floor?
Not because I don't know this is because I have not tried.
Well, to be fair, also his brother would not want to do the ritual sacrifice in which he would have to give up part of his dancing prowess. I feel like.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Did you have to like skill swap somebody to become a graphic designer? Like, did you take a part of their soul?
Oh, isn't that like what having kids is?
This is getting completely unhinged. We need to go back to talking about music right now. Tyler, what was your song this week?
Oh, this is a wild way. Okay, all right. This week I chose "Kiss Me" by Sixpence None the Richer.
Kiss me beneath the milky twilight. Lead me out on the moonlit floor. Lift your open hand, strike up the band and make the fireflies dance. Silver moon sparkling. So kiss me.
So everybody knows the song, right? It's a classic. It's a standard. It's indie and a little weird, and it's a little quirky. But I feel like I ended up choosing it because I feel like it has the right sort of like narrative to it, where I feel like it's sort of like it really like creates a picture for you in your mind of this place that they're in, you know, and it feels like the sort of like innocence of like young relationship, and sort of like I feel like the wedding part is where you sort of like get the opportunity sort of like in some ways to sort of like have that feeling of that like new, the old is new, the new is old, and it feels like sort of like a rebirth maybe in some ways, and so it gives you that chance to sort of have that young love sort of feeling once again through all the sort of pomp and circumstance and blah blah blah, right? So I feel like it just sort of fits into that sort of narrative, right? And I would say that my only like real like problem probably with this is that after Taylor sort of described his trials and tribulations of learning to dance, that maybe the song is a little fast, but I would say that I feel like it feels like a little hard to want to put like a funeral dirge on this playlist to be like a really slow, ponderous like love ballad that I feel like. But I feel like this sort of like I feel like at some point we have to sort of like break new ground on like what the canon is. Like we gotta like introduce new blood. So like what's like like I feel like our parents were probably choosing songs relevant to like their sort of like time period. So I feel like this is maybe a little farther back, but I feel like I wanted a song that I feel like a lot of people knew and can just like resonate with. I don't know. I feel like it's not the biggest song, but I feel like it's a song that I feel like people usually remember fondly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a real crowd pleaser, and I think that's why it's a perfect choice. Everybody knows it. They can kind of hum along to it. It's cute. It's innocent. Bonus points for non-gendered pronouns. It's 100 beats per minute, which I don't think is really too fast.
Did you realize that your song was going to get scienced to death?
No, this is good. I'm ready.
So, we were all in marching band. You can count this out, right? You can think about what the steps would be. It's a reasonable pace, and if you're not a great dancer, or if you're trying to make it a little more, if you're trying to milk it a little bit, you could do it in halftime at 50 beats per minute, and that's gonna be slow.
Yeah,
like you're gonna feel that, and I think that's okay for a first dance. One of the things that I've learned in doing this is you don't want to do your first dance for a full 3.5 minutes. And people are going to get bored if they have to watch you dance for 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So we had to find a place in our song to fade it out. And I think this song has some really good moments where, like, after the first chorus, when you get the little accordion solo, you could kind of bring it down and go in for a kiss and be done. And it works for that. Like, I think that's kind of how it's used in, like, TV shows and stuff. Like, it's a common song for this sort of environment.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
a good point. I had forgotten that it needed that time, that sort of condensed version.
I mean, you don't need it, but I've definitely been at weddings where like either the first dance or like the father-daughter dance or whatever, it's just like the song keeps on going and going and going, and you can tell that they've run out of things to do.
Because I'm as free as a bird now.
Exactly,
like, really?
exactly.
First off, that song, and second,
And she's by the stairway to heaven.
Well, that would be a terrible choice. But yeah, no, I think "Kiss Me" is a great choice. I had kind of forgotten about this song. I'm glad you brought it back.
There you go.
I don't think that this band had any other hits after this one, which is okay because this is a solid song that will easily be stuck in your head for the next rest of your life. As soon as you hear it, as soon as you think of the words "song" and "Kiss Me," I would never guess the band name right off the bat.
Yeah.
But I know the song. It just comes to mind very quickly.
Just real follow up. Their other major song is everyone's favorite like medication commercial or like women's feminine care product where it's there she goes. There she goes again.
I feel like you've referenced this song on here a couple of times.
Yeah, I like as a joke.
Is it walking through your brain?
I think that's a cover, isn't it?
Is it really?
It might be.
There you go. The more you know.
It's their second most played song on Spotify.
First
Yes, it is.
Me, I imagine.
It is a cover. The original version is by The Laws,
Oh.
but
So
their
then, yes.
version is the more iconic, I think.
Yeah.
No, you're right. The Laws. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
I think it's a great choice. When it came in, I was like, yep, this plays. This is what's nice about this challenge is I feel like it's just a fun challenge where it's difficult to be wrong.
Oh, it is not difficult to be wrong. We're going to go through some anti-B-sides at the end.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I hope that one of our listeners, if anybody submitted any, that just really messed it up.
I don't think we're going to roast anybody, but we'll have to wait and see. Sean, you want to go next?
Sure, why not? This week, I chose Lovers Rock by TV Girl.
She might let you stay, but just for the night. She grabs her your hand and drags you along. She might want a kiss before the end of the song. Because love can burn like a
I knew that you guys had never heard this song, and after what you put in, I was like, I feel like this comes up on my shuffle every once in a while, and I like the violins and sleigh bell sounds, and I think it's like an easy cut in, cut out DJ song, like to what Taylor was speaking to, but it has a more modern feel. I don't necessarily think this would be a song that would be your song. It's just kind of an easy song that isn't offensive and would fit really nice. So it's just a nice ambiance song that moves nicely. I haven't listened to anything else by this band. I think really what I listened to it when I put it on my liked songs was just because it's kind of nice. It's just a nice song to have on sometimes. It's kind of romantic. It has all the right vibes. So, there it is.
I love this beat. I really like that you've gone in a very different direction than Tyler and I, where we picked kind of straight up and down, like relatively simple pop rock. This has a little bit of a hip hop sway to it. Like, it's got a little funk on it. And that's cool. And like, if you're confident in your dance moves and you can get out there and like do a little more syncopation, this beat would be really fun to dance to. I agree. And because it's a loop, it's based on a sample loop, you can kind of duck it in and out where you need to, which is a good thing because some of these lyrics are horrible for a first dance at a wedding. I'm just going to lay that right out here. The first two lines are you sick of me? Would you like to be?
Listen, no one's listening for the lyrics of your song when it's your first dance.
Debatable.
You are, because you're weird, but keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I think...
You want to put your hater shades on? You just want to, you got them right there? You just want to put them on?
No. This is my thing.
No, just do it. Just do it. It's because Tyler got out the danger knife.
Listen, lyrics are important to me in a way that they may not be to you guys. But a song that says love can leave you alone with nothing is maybe not what I want on my wedding day.
Oh, well, then you should. That's just it's a pretext to stay together.
Yeah, it's a prenup in song form.
No.
So Sean just perfectly encapsulated my sort of like one of my theses was that like people just pick a song based on vibes as long as no one's paying attention, no one's listening to those lyrics.
This is such bullshit right now. This is really a bunch of bullshit.
What? Listen, I'm on your team. Taylor's saying that the lyrics matter, and I'm saying they kind of matter, but also the vibe is good. So it doesn't matter that some of the lyrics are questionable. Good. And also, like we had discussed, you don't have to use the whole thing, because I feel like, although, again, questionable, but if you're too drunk to drive and the music is right, she might let you stay just for the night. You're like, oh, that's kind of... It's like responsible, but also...
Oh my God.
Welcome to weddings, Sean. Everybody has an opinion, and you're always going to be wrong.
Yeah. And like, but if we are boyfriend or girlfriend and I stay over, what would we do?
Watch cartoons and eat macaroni and
know.
cheese, obviously.
It's always girls' night, Sean. So you never get to find out. Anyway, so actually, funny enough, my girlfriend actually knew this song. She's like, "Oh, this one plays on TikTok all the time." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I think at the very least, this plays just because it's a modern song that people have heard if they're terminally out of the line on TikTok. So, but I mean, like I said, I'll say it again. The vibe's good. And I think if that's good enough for you, it's good enough for me. Who am I to say?
When I heard this beat, I immediately thought, oh, Tyler would dance to this at his wedding.
Oh, yeah, sure, why not?
I would dance this at my wedding.
There you go.
I wouldn't do it as a first dance. I don't have that kind of confidence in myself.
Well, you could dance slow to it, or you could dance a little more upbeat to it. That's why I picked it. I thought it's good. It's a lot of occasions.
In that way, you're absolutely right. And like Tyler's song, it's exactly 100 beats per minute.
Perfect.
So you can speed it up, you can slow it down. Nice and easy. All right, well, that just leaves me. And the song that I picked to actually be my first dance at my wedding in 2 weeks is...
Spoiler alert if you're going.
Oh, man.
God Only Knows by the Beach Boys.
I may not always love you, but long as there are stars above you, you never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'd be without you.
If this isn't it, if you double cross us at your wedding when this comes out next week, I'm gonna be totally pissed. I'm gonna go right on Instagram and TikTok and just make fun of you, like bold face in the middle of your wedding.
No, this really is it. Part of the reason we agonize so hard over our first dance song is that our wedding bands themselves have a vinyl record inlaid in them of this song. So we needed to pick the song early because we needed to buy records and send them to the ring people who cut them and inlaid them into the ring. So it was kind of a pain. But it also made us really think about it. Like, we spent probably a month thinking about what song we were going to pick. And this was the one that won out for a few different reasons. First, it's a classic. Everybody loves God Only Knows. You know, Beach Boys are one of the most popular recording artists of all time. It's off of Pet Sounds, probably one of the most lasting records of the 20th century. Like, you kind of can't go wrong. It's just beautiful. The production's incredible. I struggled with it because lyrically, that first line is a real punch in the teeth. I may not always love you. Like, is that really how you want to start your first dance? But it's typical Brian Wilson, who was the chief songwriter for the Beach Boys. It's a love song that's like drenched in melancholy. He says, I may not always love you, but as long as there are stars above you, you'll never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. So he starts with this really dark thought and kind of twists it. And when I sat with it, I was like, okay, that's fine. It is a little bit fast. So it's 117 beats per minute compared to your guys' 100. It moves faster than you think it does, and you can do it at halftime, but it feels a little weird. The problem we had is after the first chorus, there's this very Brian Wilson Beach Boys thing of 4 bars of orchestral, classical, I don't even know. It's not quite a salsa. It just kind of breaks down for a second and then goes back to being the song that it was before. And when we were first practicing dancing at home, we were like, what are we going to do with this part of the song? But when we went and talked to a professional, she gave us some moves that we can do in that section, and then we're actually just going to fade it out right at the end of that and treat that as a kind of ending. So it ends up being about 1:30, which I think is the right length. But, you know, it's sweet, it's agreeable, everybody in the room's going to know it. And it has a really natural breakpoint in a way that, you know, even if we did the whole thing, it's only 2:56, but we tried dancing to the whole thing once, and it was just like, oh man, this is way too long. Like, can't do it. But like, who doesn't love Beach Boys vocal harmonies? Like, come on. Nothing says love like those mid-60s vocal harmonies.
Yeah, I'm horny for it right now.
Oh, I was gonna say, Avenged Sevenfold double guitar harmonies.
God, that was the two most anti-aesthetic things we could have said in response after Taylor gave us everything.
Well, I'm sad that it isn't going to be a surprise now, because I feel like if we were now Tyler and I can't be in the over-under.
Oh, was there going to be a betting pool among the grooms people for this?
I mean, it seemed like a logical thing to do because all of us are into music. I mean, not everybody's out, but...
Yeah, don't spoil it for everybody else.
Okay.
Actually, when this comes out, it'll still be a week until the wedding. So if you're listening to this and you heard this segment, no, you didn't.
Tyler, you want to split it? You want to like go in and say like, no, I don't think that's what it is. I'll give you like 6-1. You can just bait him.
Be like, well, I heard it feels so good.
Feels so good. Also, I will say that the song needed to have lyrics, right?
Didn't need to.
I mean, I feel like you got.
It helps if it does.
I feel like a wedding song's gotta have some. So, Feel So Good was out. It was never gonna make it.
You're going to have to talk first because Sean's dead.
Yeah, so I feel like y'all are the kind of music nerds that, or nerds in general, but, you know, I feel like you're the kind of people that would choose, I feel like, the classic. I feel like you're both, like, have, like, an appreciation for the past in, like, in more than, like, just, like, a surface level way. I mean, he literally has an account that's about Disney vinyl history, you know, and, like, both very interested in history. And so I feel like, you know, you take one of the best bands of all time, one of the best songs of all time, you know, I feel like it just makes sense. I feel like there's I feel like there's a difference between choosing this song because you're like, I don't know, like, I know, like, 10 songs and this is one of them, versus, like, we have, like, dug through, like, all of the songs that, well, a lot of the songs that are in the canon, the catalog of lists of songs, and this is the one of the best ones that feels like is most in both of your lanes. And so I feel like that is, like, I feel like I can see it and I respect it. And I think that's the difference, is the finesse of it. So, I mean, what am I gonna say? I would say, oh, this is not good. like, what was it gonna come here on your day of your wedding and see, like, dude, your first song choice sucks. Bad. No, good. Excellent.
I think it's a wonderful song. I'm sorry that you broke me with the Chuck Mangione thing, because we were just watching King of the Hill, and it was a Mangione episode, and I just was like,
Old Chuck.
yeah, I just lost it a little bit. And I think the line that Dale says is like, it was not a good album, but it was surprisingly delightful to make love to.
Yeah.
And it just cracked me up. Like, I was like, oh, this is so funny. That's what you said. But
Whereas
yeah.
Pet Sounds, great album, not a good album to make love to.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
not?
know if
It's very depressing on the whole.
although Pet Sounds sounds like a kink club, though.
Fair.
Yeah, so we actually wanted the Pet Sounds album, like, of just, like, different pets.
Sean, please talk about the song.
Oh my god. I think, Good Vibrations would have been a cool one too. The Beach Boys have like a lot of fun songs that could be easily like non-offensive first dance songs that everybody knows. I feel like they're one of those bands that maybe like Generation Z or Alpha isn't quite aware of them, but I feel like some of them they're still kind of relevant in pop culture. I don't even think that really many like millennials are that familiar with the Beach Boys. If it wasn't for those infomercials that we all saw when we were kids, that always had like
Solid gold oldies.
yeah, something along those lines, right? But yeah, I'm excited for this. I think that the wedding ring. I'm more interested in the wedding ring idea than I am actually like caring too much about whether or not the song is good, because I'm not really. I know the song, but I probably won't be paying attention to the lyrics that much. I get caught up in the adorableness of first dances. So
Yeah.
that's like I'm all that, and
Yeah. But if we're just like throwing out songs, Kokomo.
Bermuda, Bahama, come on, baby mama.
We're just talking
oh
about.
my god.
I will put a picture of our vinyl record wedding rings in the show notes for anybody who wants to see them. So I wanted to go down the list of 20 inappropriate first dance songs to avoid on your day from the knot.com,
Okay.
the premier wedding site. Okay, so some of the things that are on the Knots list. Stay With Me by Sam Smith.
Uh huh.
Each of these songs has a questionable lyric call out, and the one for this is, "This ain't love, it's clear to see, but darling, stay with me." That's a no.
Wow. That's yeah.
Yeah.
It happened so quick though, you're not gonna notice.
You're Beautiful by James Blunt.
Oh.
Because the last two lines are, "It's time to face the truth. I will never be with you."
Good. Well, so just don't play that part.
Yeah, just cut it off.
Listen, a song, if you cut it, doesn't you don't know the lyrics exist if you just
Right.
don't play that part.
Yeah. I can't believe that this is even on this list. I can't believe anyone would even consider this, but Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Oh,
Okay.
no, completely I could see people doing that. All right.
Once upon a time, I was falling in love, but now I'm only falling apart. Happy Wedding. Tyler's favorite
don't-
song of the aughts, Ho Hey by the Lumineers.
Oh yeah.
What the hell?
Bugging, bro. Yeah.
That's just a no.
The first line of that one is, "I don't think you're right for him. Look at what it might have been."
Uh-oh.
What?
Yeah, not great.
Okay, all right. All these
Um,
seem to be picking on like one line.
They are, because mine is in there. But they just do the first line and they don't go into the other ones.
Yeah.
Some other standouts here. "I Will Always Love You" by Dolly Parton. "Goodbye, Please Don't Cry. We both know I'm not what you need."
Good.
I agree with this. I think people like Good Riddance think that "I Will Always Love You" is a love song. It's a heartbreak song.
yeah.
Yeah, you know, the part where they're gone and you're like, well, despite that you're gone, I will. Not to explain the joke, but.
"My Heart Will Go On" by Celine Dion.
No.
The same thing.
No.
Same.
Although it would be funny if you actually brought out a door and did your first dance
amazing.
on a door. That would be pretty sweet. And then your punchline for your whole thing was like, "There is room for two." You know? Like,
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very Titanic themed. It's very nautical. We got to change out our costumes.
No nautical weddings. No. Absolutely.
Yar, yar. I do be announcing your husband in life.
Thanks, Sea Captain.
Yeah, you be welcome.
"Jar of Hearts" by Christina Perri. "Who do you think you are, running around leaving scars, collecting your jar of hearts?"
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a no.
Next thing you're going to tell me is that No Scrubs is on here because
Oh, no, but there are two on here that are so unbelievably bad that I can't believe anyone would even consider them. "Every Breath You Take" by The Police.
oh no, no, no. That'd be like Roxanne being on there.
watching you.
It gets worse. It gets worse because this isn't even the number one, but I just can't believe that anyone would pick this. "Can't Feel My Face" by The Weeknd.
Let's go. Historically known for his great love life.
Oh, I mean, even just the main line, "I can't feel my face when I'm with you," is bad enough. But it is pretty bad when you read the first two lines. "And I know she'll be the death of me, at least we'll both be numb. And she'll always get the best of me, the worst is yet to come." Who are you? Who is this person who's like, yeah, that's the one?
This is what I'm saying. People just reside, just love the vibes.
Lord. So I really hope none of our listeners picked any of those. Sean, did we get some listener suggestions this week?
Oh, this is nice. Oh, this is sweet. I actually think that so let me just read it. 251. This is First Dance. Ivan put Real Love Baby by Father John Misty, which I am very familiar with. I think that it's a very wonderful song. In my vows, I actually did, I quoted a little bit of Everyman, because I really liked Father John Misty. I think that those particular albums are pretty good at kind of giving you some perspective.
I mentioned earlier that one of my groomsmen recommended dance lessons. He actually danced with his wife at his wedding to this song as their first dance, and it looked great. It's actually a little bit faster even than my song, and he told me after the fact, he was like, "Yeah, I'm really glad we did dance lessons because it was quicker than I thought it was. Like, it'll sneak up on you, but it was a really sweet song. It is, once again, long though, so you do need to fade it. But yeah, great pick, Ivan."
I haven't checked in on the lyrics of that song, but I do assume that it's actually just. I'm assuming everyone's having a real good time in this song.
Better than in most Father John Misty songs.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I feel like historically he's not been a man that's having a good time.
It's not hanging out at the gallows, that's for sure. Or basically anything off of the new album, or his latest album, which is still very, very good. But that said, B-sides, songs that were maybe in the second dance but didn't quite make it here, go for it. The floor is yours.
Our two main contenders, other than God Only Knows, were "I'd Have You Anytime" by George Harrison, which I think I've actually put on this playlist before, and "The Luckiest" by Ben Folds.
Oh, God.
Which is it was just a little too much. And then a recent addition, because I went to my 9th Matt and Kim show this week, and their one love song to each other, "Happy If You're Happy," they actually came out into the crowd and slow danced and sang it to each other, and I thought that was really sweet. So I will put that on the list as well.
Cute. Like I said, I had some real weird vibes. I was just trying to choose songs that sort of had something kind of going on. I Will Possess Your Heart. Not a good pick. Not good.
You gotta have endurance for that one.
Yellow by Coldplay.
That one's okay. I'll give you that one.
Yeah. I was like, if I didn't in some ways feel weird about how he says it was all yellow, I would pick that song in Iridist. Somewhere Only We Know.
Oh my God.
Just like I said,
You're really just scraping the playlist from Grey's Anatomy, aren't you?
Yeah, actually. See, but that was the kind of the lane I felt like I was in. 1,000 Miles, of course.
Quality television, though.
1,000 Miles, I think, is a little too fast.
It's a little too much.
Which one?
The Vanessa
Carlton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not the Proclaimers.
Yeah,
That's 500 miles.
But what if I did?
Well, when there's two of you, it's actually 1,000 because that's how math works.
Yeah. Like I said, real weird. I didn't have a whole lot.
Well, Tyler, if people want to toss the bouquet in your direction, where can they do that?
Hey everybody, you can find my design illustration work at rudepets.club. As always, you can find me in the socials. Rude Pets Club on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter.
Sean, if people need a man of honor, where can they find you?
Look no further, everybody.
Don't.
You can find me on Instagram. Find me on Instagram at TellySean. And if, well, just congratulations, buddy. If anybody
Yeah.
wants to see some of the highlights of your glorious weekend in a few, where can they find you at?
You can find me on the socials at TC Olmstead. It's going to be all wedding all the time from here on out, baby. All of these songs will be on the official No Repeat podcast playlist, which is available on Apple Music and Spotify. Our B-sides will be on the unofficial B-sides playlist on Spotify, which is, of course, lovingly maintained by Super Deluxe Edition podcast pal Ivan Glasgow, who also has great taste in First Dance songs. We're going to take some time off, but we'll be back probably towards the end of October with another episode of No Repeat.